Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be talking about the new lipstick launch from Kosas. Now Kosas has made some big changes in their lipstick line. So they got rid of pretty much all the old shades and they replaced them with a bunch of new shades. In addition, they seem to have made a few small changes in their formula. So I have 3 of the new lipsticks and I have also all of the old versions of the lipsticks. So I will be talking about these and comparing them to one another, and I'll also be comparing the new shades to some of the other lipsticks in my collection. So thanks very much for joining me. Now, lipstick was always a really important part of the Kosas line, and in 2015 the company launched with just 4 shades of lipstick, and that was all. Then over time they did introduce a lot of new products, including some of my favorite products, including the Kosas powder, and I really also like some of the Kosas brow products. At the beginning, the lipsticks were very popular, in large part driven because Gwyneth Paltrow said that this was her favorite lipstick. She really liked the shade Royal, and so that got a lot of publicity, and then eventually Kosas became a pretty established company and is now sold in places like Sephora and Credo. However, in recent years, especially the past year, some other really high profile and well-reviewed lipstick have come into the marketplace and have been competing with those. So I'm thinking especially of the Merit lipsticks, which are also sold at Sephora, and the Glossier lipsticks also I think have been very good, at least for me, and those are now at Sephora also. So, and my favorite lipstick brand, which is Lisa Eldridge, has also released a lot of lipsticks over the past year, and there have been some other good releases as well. So all of those lipstick brands have released a lot of lipsticks that look a lot different than what Kosas was previously offering. So in the past, Kosas was pretty much only selling lipsticks that had very bright colors and kind of clear colors. So for instance, this is a sample pack that I have of the lipsticks that they previously offered, and they're all pretty bright colors both in this package and when I put them on my lips. On the other hand, the newer colors that have come out tend to be sort of on the mucky side. So some of them are light in color, but they also seem to have a lot more tones of brown or kind of a grayish type of a tone to them. So a lot of people think that they're a lot easier to wear. So I can see why Kosas may have wanted to bring out some new shades. Getting rid of almost all of the old shades may seem a little bit drastic to some people, especially those people who really like the lipsticks, however. So over the past year or so, I have started to think that it might be the case that I could actually benefit from wearing some more bright shades of lipsticks. And I've experimented a lot with trying some shades, especially from Lisa Eldridge, but from some other brands. And I've found that a lot of lipsticks, as long as they have some depth to them, do work really well on me. I've focused somewhat on Kosas as well. I've had a couple more of these little sample packages that I've experimented with from time to time. And I do like some of the colors, but I do think that they were a little more difficult for me personally to wear. So even though I like having that much color on my lips, it's still not something that I entirely feel comfortable with. Now, the one exception has been a shade called Vegas, which is what I have on my lips now. So this was released, but it was only sold on the Kosas website. So if you went to Sephora, you wouldn't be able to see it. But in the new line, this is the one lipstick that they have kept. So it is kind of a brownish color with just a little bit of a reddishness to it. So it looks like this on my hand, and you can see it on my face as well. And when I swatched it against other lipsticks in my collection, which is pretty broad, I did not really find that many things that it looked that similar to. So let me show you what it does look like. So what I have here from top to bottom is the Kosas Vegas on the top, then I have Glossier Trench, then I have Merit Slip, and then at the bottom is Charlotte Tilbury in Nude Romance. So all of those are pretty popular shades, and I don't think that any of them look exactly like this one, but I do think that all of these are a nice compromise between having something that's a little tiny bit warm in terms of having a little bit of reddishness in it, but that still gives off that kind of neutral beige type of a vibe. And in the past, this was by far the most neutral of all of the Kosas shades. But now there are shades that are on the more neutral side and that are even lighter than this one. So it's been a big change for them. So I have some of the pictures that I took off the website, so I will show those to you here. But what I have found is that it was very difficult for me to tell exactly what these colors look like looking at the website, because apparently they shoot all of their product photos in studio light, and so that makes them all kind of look the same to me. I do find that shooting here in all natural light with natural light coming in behind me and in front of me and almost on all sides does a much better job of actually showing what the products look like. So I have done some swatch pictures, and I also have all 4 of the new shades that I own on my hand, so you can take a look at them. So from the top, what we have is Deep Talks, then Turned On, then High Cut, and then Vegas. This is the old version, but since it's called the same thing, I'm hoping that the shade will be about the same as well. So that's at the bottom. So as you can see, there are now 10 shades total. There are 4 of them that are light neutral, then there's a couple that are bright pinks, and there's a bright burgundy, and there's one that's a really dark brown, and then there's a couple of mucky reds. They don't have any bright reds at all, which is interesting because pretty much their entire collection from before consisted of different undertones of reds so that you could get a red to match your exact undertone. They seem to be assuming that people are not going to be wearing reds at all, and it looks like, from what I can tell from the website anyway and their packaging, that they are going mostly for a very young audience, people that are in their probably under 35, maybe under 30. So I can see why most women of that age and girls, high school girls as well, they probably are not going to want to be wearing really bright lipstick. So if that's really their target market, then this could be a really good move for them. Now, I do think that many of their products have been very appropriate for me at age 58. So I would like to see them talk about how the products can be used by older women as well, but they seem to be going very young. Now, in terms of the formula, when I have compared the ingredient list, it's pretty much the same ingredient list, but a few of the items are in different order. So I do think that they made some small changes. I kind of feel like this has a stronger scent of vanillin than before. Before it was kind of on the mild side. I feel like it's stronger now, but it could be that maybe the vanilla has dissipated in the lipsticks that I have because they've been sitting around for a while. So it's hard for me to know, but if I were going to take a guess, I think that the scent is a little bit stronger. It still has a little bit of the citrus smell in it, so orange oil and limonene and linalool. So there's a little bit of citrus mixed into that vanillin. And I think that some of those ingredients, as well as the lanolin in the product, do have the potential for causing irritation. I've seemed to have been okay with this lipstick. I certainly don't feel like it's irritating to my lips, but I'm not sure that it's as good for my lips as some of the other products that I use. Especially, I think the Merit lipsticks seem to be really, really good for my lips. These seem to be okay for my lips. So I don't know that I would want to wear this lipstick every day, all day for the rest of my life, but I can wear it for certainly all day on occasion and have my lips be fine. But if you're allergic to lanolin, or if you're especially sensitive to essential oils or processed natural fragrance, then this could be an issue for you. So let's talk first about the deepest shade that I purchased, which is called Deep Talks. So on the Kosas website, this new shade is described as a neutral brick red. And when I did some swatch comparisons, it seems to be quite similar to the old Kosas Fringe shade, which is described as an earthy brick red. So here is the lipstick that I purchased, and this one actually was broken as soon as I got it out of the container because I think it just sat in my mailbox too long and got on the soft side. So I'm not sure that it's a great idea for them to be sending boxes through the post office rather than UPS. But in any case, I will try to put it on here and then we'll talk about it. So it's a little hard to put this on in a light layer when it's broken like that. So I don't have a lot of other lipsticks that are exactly this brick red color, but I have a few. I think the one that it might look the most like in person is the Lisa Eldridge Velvet Enchantment lipstick. So this is a lipstick that she said that she designed for people that usually don't wear red lipsticks, and that are kind of afraid of them. So it is a lipstick that she says is similar to a brighter lipstick that's blotted a lot and muted a lot. And I think that that could be the case. I do think it's reading red on me at least in the monitor, but it certainly doesn't look as bright as most of the other Kosas lipsticks that I used in the past. So this was, I guess, one of their more muted shades back then too. It also looks a little bit like Mac Chili. A lot of people have seen that one. I think it's not quite as orange as the Mac Chili, but it's leaning in that direction. So the next one that I have is called Turned On, and that is described by them as a warm pinkish brown. I think that it is indeed very similar to the old shade of Undone, which was described as a neutral pinkish brown. So let's try that on. I think that of the things that I swatched that against, that it was most similar to a shade of MAC lipstick that I used to wear 25 years ago called Twig. And I always thought that that was a little bit on the bright side, but still wearable for me. I think it's also kind of similar to Velvet Muse by Lisa Eldridge, so you can see some of the other things in comparison as well. And then the final shade that I picked up was the shade High Cut, and this is described on the website as a warm rosy pink. And it also says that if you like the shade Stardust, that you'll like this one. So when I tried this on, which I'll do in just a second, I really feel like it's in the same neighborhood as the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk and many other lipsticks that are very similar to that. So you can take a look at some of the others that I think it's similar to. When I look at it compared to Stardust, which I actually did really like, this one seems very, very different. So Stardust was described as a warm peachy pink, and that was previously one of their two lightest shades by far, but it was more a saturated kind of a corally type lipstick, but in a sheer formula. And I actually do have that one, so I'm going to try that on just so you can see that it doesn't really look like this particular new replacement, so quote unquote, for it. So this is Stardust. So I kind of like this shade, and I don't see that they have a shade that's really similar to that anymore. So this is High Cut. And then if you look at this again on the swatch, I think that you can see that it is a little bit more orangey, peachy colored than the one at the bottom, which is the Vegas color, but it's not very saturated at all. It's still quite neutral. So that is 4 of the shades, and there are 6 others. So what the other 6 shades are, there's one that's a dark brown that's called Subconscious that seems to be entirely new, and that I think would probably be most appropriate for people with dark skin tones, although you certainly can wear it if you like a dark brown lipstick, if you have lighter skin tone. Star Power looks like a pretty fairly bright, cool burgundy shade. So if you liked Dark Room or Royal, then this might be something to look at as a substitute for that. Daydream is a cool pink, so maybe this was a little bit similar to Rosewater. And then Beach House looks very, very bright pink. So I think that that's very interesting. And I'm pretty sure there wasn't any lipstick like that in the past. Fantasy Life is a baby pink, so I'm wondering if it's like the Merit shade of baby. And then Sugar High is a neutral baby peach, which I think is similar to maybe Merit Slip, or in any case, it seems not all that different than the Vegas shade or that new High Cut shade. So I'm interested in going to Sephora, where hopefully the lipsticks are not broken, and to take a look at all of the new shades when they do get in stock. I think that the dark shades are probably going to be too dark for me. And the light shades, you know, I feel like I really like those light shades in the Merit lipstick, but I feel like that's because the Merit lipstick is almost like a lip balm. So when I put it on, it doesn't really look like I'm wearing a lipstick that's light per se. It really just looks like I have something that's a little bit clear on, whereas this definitely has more of a creamy type of a look that I feel could make my lips look too light if it was the wrong shade for me. So I'm a little bit more cautious when it comes to buying a lipstick like this than with something like the Merit or the Glossier Ultra Lips, because I think that they have a more clear base to them. So I'm a little bit wary, but I would definitely like to go to Sephora and try all of these on and see which ones work for me. I'm kind of interested in those two pink shades. That Beach House one looks very, very bright, but maybe that's something that I would be able to pull off. So I would be interested in giving that a try. And Daydream looks very cool, but I'd be interested in giving it a try. So all in all, I have always liked this lipstick formula, and I still do like this lipstick formula. In terms of the lipsticks that I like the most, I really like the Lisa Eldridge lipsticks in terms of all of her formulas. In terms of the way the lipsticks feel on my lips, and in terms of the colors that she puts together. And I've really been liking the Pat McGrath lipsticks too, both the matte ones and the new satin ones. In terms of lipsticks that are really comfortable on my lips and that I feel like I can just pick anything and throw it on and it seems to look pretty good on me, I really like the Jones Road lipsticks, I really like the Merit lipsticks, I really like the Glossier Ultra Lip lipsticks, and I feel like this is not quite in that same category. I feel like these are lipsticks where some of them look better on me than others, and then I have to be a little bit more careful, and that I probably wouldn't want to wear every day. So I do think that I will be wearing these lipsticks that I purchased, but I still think that in terms of collecting all of the shades in a lipstick, I'm more inclined to do that in one of the other formulas. It's also not going to last as long as my other lipstick that I've been really liking recently, which is the NARS Power Matte. So I feel like that is a new formula that's been really, really good for me, and that really does have a lot of long-lastingness to it. And I like the Say lip blurs as well. So I feel like there's a lot of other lipstick lines out there that I'm a little bit feeling better about than this one, but I think that for me this was a good choice for them to replace the old shades with these new ones that seem more wearable to me. But it may not be the best thing for other people, especially if there was a particular shade in this lipstick that is no longer being made by Kosas, and that you can't really find a good replacement anywhere else either. So please let me know in the comments about your thoughts about this release. Is Kosas a line that you used in the past? Are you happy to see the lipstick shades changing? Were there any that you liked in the past that are no longer around? So please let me know what you think. Thanks very much for watching all the way to the end of the video. And if you haven't subscribed yet, then I hope you will go ahead and do that. And Coco and I love you very much. Goodbye.